I'm Matt Vaughn, a volunteer at Hawk Creek for the last 4 years. Where I fit into the picture is fairly straightforward. I'm a raptor handler. Every week I perform a variety of tasks at the center, from mastering our website to cleaning the enclosures of those whose injuries are too great to permit release. Someone has to. When I'm not at our facility in East Aurora, however, I'm standing behind a table at the mall with a bird sitting on my gloved fist as I hold conversations with complete strangers. The story ends here unless you ask why I do it, in which case my response could span volumes. While in the midst of one of those days at the mall, despite all of the physical and mental fatigue that comes with standing for so many hours on a day of unceasing dialogue, I have never been able to adequately describe why it is that I cannot seem to stop smiling. It is not for any lack of reason. The truth is an overabundance. Every individual animal I have worked with is a reason in their own right, to say nothing of the infinite reward and satisfaction that comes with the job. I cannot, in any number of words, do them all justice. When I was young, maybe 10 or 12 years old, my parents took me to the shopping mall. At the mall center, there was an arrangement of tables forming a square on the main concourse. There were people behind them. These people had a number of very large birds that I had never seen before. Standing not much higher than the tables then, and listening, I remember being unable to remove myself from their presence. As my father took my hand and led me away, I fished a $5 bill out of my pocket. I returned and dropped it in a collection bin, which had pictures of the animals inside, before going back to my dad. I could not have known that years later I would be standing behind the very same tables with some of the very same birds. I will admit, I originally started volunteering at Hawk Creek for a rather selfish reason. I wanted to be a falconer, so I decided the best thing to do would be gain some experience handling these birds. So one day when I was 15, I found these people in the mall, exactly where they were when I first saw them, neatly stationed in front of the giant glass elevator. Then the following Saturday, I found myself in the town of Aurora on a dark and rainy April morning. From that point would begin the most meaningful and spectacular experiences of my life. This is no exaggeration. Simply being there meant that I had the opportunity to experience things that most people only at best read about. Each instance is an inspiration. I was once fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to release a young red-tailed hawk that had been in rehabilitation with us for some time. This is accomplished by carrying the bird to a place suitable for flight and then, necessarily done with great care and very thick gloves. In that first moment of freedom, there is a brief but powerful awareness that can only be described as a cleaving together of spirits, a simultaneous rising of hands and wings. Flight, a thrust of grace, then the instant is past. The most profound and sublime moment in the whole of my memory. Being able to work directly with these animals and participate with some effort to protect them is not an experience that I will soon forget, nor is it an endeavor I will ever abandon. It is a minimal expense for me to give my time to Hawk Creek when I know the good that it does. That the lives of these wild creatures, whose existence on this earth predates history, should now come to depend upon our charity is one of the greatest tragedies of our time. Somehow, the loss of even one species would make existence itself seem all the poorer. Yet there is a class of poor in this world, not for any want of virtue or beauty or light, but for their want of that which we have taken, and that which we will not give back. And for all that humanity has taken, they are not robbed of their blessings and their splendor, for their wealth is in their nature. Their poverty is in our choice. They are not the poor we know. These poor cannot speak. No nation claims them, no faith consoles them. They are not the human poor, yet human ignorance and human apathy form their cross. They are the wildlife. I do this for them.